Hey YouTube, I'm Vinny the Handyman. Thanks for tuning into my channel. Before I start every single day, I start with Espresso Smith's Whiskey Barrel Coffee. Okay, so follow me and I'll show you the quality I drink every morning. Look at that crema. Beautiful, beautiful shot of espresso. It's good, it's good, it's good, it's good. Whiskey Barrel Coffee, thank you for fueling my day every day.
Thank you, Espresso Smith!
Alana, do you have anything to add?
Unicorns on wheel!
Whoa, there you have it, guys. All right, the AAAs are out. We'll see you at the house. Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Vinny the Handyman. Today we got a really cool small project for you guys, and I'm sure everybody on this planet has been dealing with this since the beginning of time. Trying to match your texture, all right? The kids throw, you know, a softball at it, or the wife throws a pot at you, you know, you come home late. Not that it's ever happened to me, but anyhow, you know what I'm saying, right? So, we're gonna fix this texture today. I'm gonna give you guys a few options on how to do that. Let's get started with some of the tools that I have that I'm gonna be using today. This is called the Magic Trowel. It's about 8, maybe almost close to 15 years. And it's done all my texture jobs. I love this tool. I will put a link in the description below. You guys have to have this if you're gonna be doing your texturing jobs at home or on another job site, okay? So again, description, link below, you'll see this. You'll also see this little scrub brush. Now this is for like really small texture jobs, okay? I wouldn't be doing this whole wall with this. This is just for small patches. So if you guys don't have a hopper or a texturing machine or a texture gun, then, okay, and what you do is you just kind of flick it like that, okay? Just be careful, you might get some in your face. Okay, so if you're in the Navy, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so anyhow, so you just put the texture and you just flick it right on the wall, let it dry, knock it down with your Magic Trowel. It'll look superb. And I think most homeowners will benefit from this, my personal opinion. A little sanding sponge. So we're gonna be putting some 5-minute quick set on this. So, cause you know, time is money. I ain't got time to be here all day. So I'm gonna put some 5-minute mud on it. We're just gonna give it a light sand. What I like to do is I'll take a sponge or a wet rag and I'll feather around the corners so that way there's no ridges. I don't know if you ever walked into a house and you'll see like texture spots and you'll see like a ridge where they patch the wall. So that's where this comes in handy. So that's a handyman pro tip you don't want to forget. Handyman pro tip. So again, either a sponge or a wet rag, we'll feather it out. We'll walk you through it, don't worry. Don't worry. And then I also, like I said, time is money, so I'll use a 5-minute easy sand. This is also at Home Depot or at Lowe's. Okay, you can order a box. I'll put a description below if you want to get like a small box of it. And I'll put the 5-minute, it'll set fast, and then you can even put like a top coat of mud if you want. But this is enough for this type of work, okay? So this will set in 5 minutes. And then before you know it, you'll be out drinking beers with your buddies, okay? And to mix the hot mud, I'll use a little trowel, okay? You could use a 4-inch knife, probably preferred. I have my 6 with me right now, so I'll just use this. But you're just gonna mix it up with some water and try to get it like just like a nice texture. It doesn't have to be too thick and not too watery, just enough to put on there, flatten it out, let it dry, okay? Carry extra plastic. When I start spraying with my big texture gun, today I'll be spraying with this big texture gun. So that way I can get this whole wall completed at one time. I'm still gonna show you the little patch, but I'm still gonna spray the whole wall so you see how that works. This you can rent at Home Depot. In fact, here's a little handyman secret. I actually bought that at Home Depot for $350. It's a $1,200 machine. So they do sell their tools. If you're a handyman starting out your business, check out Home Depot and go to their tool rental site. You'll see where it says tools for sale, use tools for sale. Click on that link and then you'll see all the tools for sale in your local area in that zip code. Now that's a handyman pro tip you don't want to forget. Especially if you're building your business, check that website out. I buy a lot of my tools used from Home Depot, and it'll save you thousands, okay? So that's your, sorry if I'm going too fast. I had a Rockstar energy drink, so I'm going a little haywire here. Okay, now I have painter's putty. This is good for your little nails that you use your brad nails on to hang pictures. So I always carry this with me. Another little tip, you could use a bar of soap. Doesn't matter what color. Use a bar of soap, take the corner of it, and just rub the corner of the soap right on that hole. Feather it out with a wet rag, and it's like it never happened. Because you're painting it anyway. That's another little tip for you guys, okay? Actually, my wife taught me that one. I think she learned that on Pinterest, but anyhow, I use it. It works great. And the last tool you guys are gonna need, a little bit of this. Oh, it's cheesy, I know it's cheesy. Okay, we're gonna go mix some mud, and then I'm gonna put my GoPro on so you can get an up-close feature with Vinny.
Too watery?
That's perfect right there. Okay?
So we're gonna hit this first.
Still a little tacky, and then I'll hit it with the second coat. So like I said before, these outer edges, we're gonna use a wet sponge or a wet rag, and we'll get rid of those. Ridges, so it doesn't blend too much of the texture together. Just think of what would Vinny do, and you'll have the right answer. All right, now time for a handyman pro tip. If you guys are having problems where you over texture on the wall and it gets really watery when you flatten it, do yourselves a favor, buy Kilt's water-based primer. Right there. Buy water-based primer, put it all over the wall, let it dry for about an hour or so. And what that does is that helps absorb the texture. It'll help it dry faster and give it a better finish. Then you can take your trowel and go across, and you'll have a nice knockdown texture, okay? And it won't have that watered down, flat look where it just looks really, it just looks like a big iceberg on the wall. I guess that makes sense. Anyhow, the primer will help take care of that problem for you, okay? This is a eggshell, so there's not too much gloss on this, so I think we'll be okay not using primer. But generally, if it was a bigger area, I'd use primer and then texture over it. It'll help it dry faster. But I think we're gonna be okay here. So we're gonna get these little things textured now. So I put a little texture on the end of this. All right. Now in another video I had this pre-mixed. So if you wanna hop on to one of my other texturing videos, you'll see how I mix this mud. But since I already have it mixed, we're just gonna put it on the wall now. Okay, so we're gonna hit this patch first. And all you want to do is just give it a little, don't flick too hard, just enough. Okay, you want that look on there. Let it sit for a few minutes. Probably use a little bit more here. Okay, and we'll let that sit. And then we'll flatten it out here in a little bit. We'll also hit this one here. Cool. Whew. It's looking pretty good already. Now, I haven't seen this technique on the internet yet. I've seen paintbrushes where you dab it and then flatten it. I haven't seen that type of scrub brush technique. I think it's a really good technique because I mean, everybody has one in the garage, and this is at a beginner level to do small touch-ups without renting a machine or buying a $70 hopper. So this is a quick, easy way of doing these small patches. So again, if you're just doing one small little patch, this technique is perfect. Being that, like I said, we have a lot of patchwork here, so I'm gonna have to spray the whole wall right here so it all blends in correctly. That's the correct way to do it. But if you have just a small patch, okay, then this is the way to go. Pretty simple stuff. Okay, we're gonna use my magic trowel now. It's been a few minutes. Let's see what happens with this. I'll know here in a second if I didn't wait long enough. So let's see what happens. Not too bad. There you go. Okay, so that patch that we did earlier, it is now dry. And that took about, I'd say 15 minutes, completely dry. So it looks really good. So if you were to paint that right now, it'd be seamless. It'd be like a professional Vinny came and did it for you. Now we're gonna spray the whole wall so that way everything's consistent now. Now, if I just had that little patch that we did together, that'd be fine. But I have like maybe 6 or 7 of them. So I'm gonna use my hopper here that like I said, this is from Home Depot. You could rent it, it's $50 a day. So we're gonna spray texture all over this wall so that way it matches it for the customer, okay? So it's gonna get a little loud. Since it's gonna be loud, why don't you enjoy some little Latino music?
No sé qué tú ves en mí, mi amor. Ya no dejes de mirarme, que ya me gusta quién soy. Contigo me siento en control. Eres el balance en este mundo, poco humor. Se volvió ese chico que habló en mis canciones. Esas madrugadas y hermosas conversaciones. Se volvió ese chico que quería ver otra vez. Y me enamoré a volverlo a ver. Tú me ves como nadie más, bebé. Me diste alas para que vuele, pero motivos para quedarme. Tú me ves como nadie más, bebé. Tú me curas cuando más me duele. Sé que siempre has sabido amarme.
Eso eres tortolito, no queda bien, bebé. Mejor de tus amigas diciendo que no ven. Que esto sea duradero, que sea algo sincero. Que un perro no cambia y eso es lo que es él. Pero tú lo viste, mi amor. Tú viste mi mejor versión. Tú hiciste lo que nadie quería. Ser inspo para mis poesías. Siento que tú solo sabes. Chico con par de maldades. Pero sincero.
All right, let's flatten this down and wrap this job up. So always clean off your magic trowel with water. If you leave any old, dried up texture on there, it'll drag on your finish. So just make sure it's cleaned off. Now normally you'd go up and down. If this wall was all sprayed at once, this whole room, you start from the top all the way and then come up from the bottom, meet in the middle, and you're done. This is different because you're meeting two different textures. You have a dry surface, a new surface that's wet, so you gotta blend the two together. Sometimes you might have to go side to side to kind of move the mud a little bit. So now everything looks amazing. So if I want to make sure that it goes up and down, all I gotta do is this, and just light pressure, very, very light pressure. Okay, everything's flowing the same direction. And that display using my magic trowel, that was even too long. So for the video, I'm kind of giving you guys different options. You don't have to rush through and be done with it. Take your time with it. Whoa. Take your time with it, mold it. Okay, here's the texture now. Looking really, really good. All right, like I promised before, earlier in the video, I was gonna show you how to mix the mud for your texture. So when you're gonna put it on your scrub brush, now, you can go to Home Depot and get any one of these boxes, okay? So this is the joint compound. You can get the red, blue, or even the topping compound. You can use any one of these for your texture. I prefer the topping because it's a little lighter and easier to sand if you have to sand. But any one of these products will work perfectly, okay? All right, I'm gonna mix some mud here real fast so you can kind of get a general idea.
So sometimes it comes out really thick. So this consistency right here, way too thick. Okay, so we're gonna water it down. See if you can see that.
Because if it's too thick, then it won't come off of the brush. So maybe just a little bit more. Now that's looking a lot better. Not too soupy because then it'll just be runny and it'll get all over the place. So that's a good consistency. All right, here's some bonus stuff for you guys, all right? Do a little bonus. Okay, since I mixed the mud, I'm gonna go ahead and show on this piece of drywall. Jim, pay attention. You know who I'm talking to. Okay, so now we're gonna dab our brush inside. Okay, no more than that, because then it'll get real sloppy. So as I'm pulling the bristles back, you want to throw it too. So like that. So now we have a nice finish. I'm gonna go a little thicker just so you guys can see it better in the video. Okay, it's really cold outside. Normally I'd give this a few minutes to set, but it's freezing out and I want to go home. So I'm going to do a quick brush over. And that's it. Okay, so all that from that little brush, and that's still putting it on kind of thin. Once you paint it, it'll all blend in with the wall. And that's about the coverage that you want. You can go a little bit more, but not too much more, because then it'll be all over the place. So that's a pretty good consistency right there for a patch. Okay, and I just showed you guys this awesome technique to save you a little bit of time and money. I've never seen this technique on YouTube ever by any handyman, by any contractor. So I'm gonna claim this as the first video ever to be out on YouTube that has this texturing technique. So again, what would Vinny do, right? There you go. This is an excellent example on how to fix a small patch in your home. If you like this video, please send it out to all your family and friends, because this is helpful information. This technique is so helpful, and it applies to everybody. Whether you're leaving an apartment or getting ready to rent out a house or sell a house, this is a quick fix that you could do in your home. So send it out to all your friends. You won't see this video anywhere else on YouTube, so archive it. Again, Vinny the Handyman, giving you the tips and tricks of the trade. Take care, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.